What is up, Leg TV? It's your boy Maximus Black, and I wanted to do a little bit of a different video. It's been, I think, about 6 or 7 months since I've brought up Stormgate on Leg TV, and it has been about the same time since I've actually played a game of Stormgate. As you can see, I do have almost 130 hours of playtime. I know it says I last played January 28th, but I literally just opened the game and closed it. But it has been close to 7 months since I've really grinded out Stormgate. I stopped playing back then because of the dog versus dog meta. Sorry, my window just closed. Because of the dog versus dog meta, along with a slew of other balance issues and other things that were going on. It is early access. It was really early access back then. We don't need to go over all of the mistakes that the studio has made with their release of early access. I think they're probably tired of hearing that, although, you know, the criticism a lot of it was valid. But it seems as though they have been listening, and apparently this is a major update. Now, I have not watched this video in its entirety. I watched the first minute and a half, 2 minutes, and I said, you know what? This is looking really good. Let me just record my genuine reaction to this and discuss it, and hopefully that will entice some of you guys to, if you like it, to go and try it out and support the game. I've been a backer of this. I've backed quite a bit on the Patreon or the Kickstarter that they had. Obviously, I'm biasly rooting for this, not only because of my love for RTS, but also it'd be awesome for Leg TV to be able to pick up a second RTS and just continue with our staple series and stuff like that and bring it into Stormgate alongside StarCraft. So there's part of me that, you know, wants this game to succeed, not only for my enjoyment, but also from a content creation standpoint. So, you know, let's watch this. If I don't like something, I'll tell you. I had pretty much given up hope on this game 6-7 months ago, and just over the last month, I've been seeing tweets from Stormgate showing things that they've been doing, and I've been reading Reddits, and I've been in the 3v3 early access play stuff that I'm not allowed to discuss, but I have kind of kept my eye on the game, but I just made the assumption that it would die and nothing would come of it. So, and to be frank, I still, as of right now, in my heart is telling me that that's probably what's going to happen, but I am hoping that it isn't. I hope that this game continues to move in the right direction, and they keep listening, not to everything, but they keep listening to the players, and they keep making these tweaks. So without further ado, let's check out this update. All right.
Tim Campbell, and I'd like to welcome you to the Stormgate Early Access 0.3 update.
I'm just going to go and say this already looks visually way better.
This is a huge update for us, full of improvements to controls, visuals, and overall quality of life. So let's dive right in. First up, I'm excited to showcase Stormgate's brand new lighting model.
Wow.
After getting a lot of feedback from players, we have revamped our in-game lighting system to create a darker, less saturated backdrop for your epic battles. The terrain textures on our ground.
Okay, this objectively looks better.
Have also
It's starting to lose that, you know, that bright sort of saturated, cartoony garbage that a lot of people did not like, including myself.
Terrain textures on our ground have also been updated to take advantage of this new lighting. In particular, you'll notice improved exposure values for both the highlights and shadows, especially at night. Our ground terrain has also gained some improved detail with enhanced specular highlights, which help to showcase our experimental time of day system that features both a moving sun and moon.
That's cool.
We developed this feature because a changing light has a way of eliciting emotion. It brings new life to our environments, helping us to create a much more immersive experience for you, and will be featured heavily in our upcoming campaign revamp. Currently, the new time of day treatment is available in our co-op mode on Infested Crater, as well as in our custom game list on a day-night variation of Titan's Causeway. Along with that, a custom variant of our Isle of Dread map has been hit by a severe tropical storm, helping to explain how the island got its original name. Please let us know if you think these lighting and environmental effects are ready to be used on more of our maps.
Yes. And by the way, that's where I stopped. So everything moving forward, I have not seen yet. And yes, that looks way better.
We've also gone even further with our visual improvements in this update, including a visual effects pass across most of the game, with an especially heavy focus on our versus mode. Our main goal for this pass was to add a layer.
What is that unit? It must be a new unit or a complete change in the look.
And to improve the overall visual quality of our combat. But we also kept our eyes focused on improving battlefield clarity by using faster impacts and adjusting the height, opacity, and size of our VFX wherever it would help legibility. Let's check out some of our latest visual effects upgrades. We poured extra fuel on our explosions, such as unit and structure deaths. More detail, bigger bangs. Many effects also have been leveled up, receiving additional polish like dynamic light flashes, heat distortion, and they even dissipate more gracefully when they end. Many of our projectiles now also leave subtle trails behind. The Flight Dragon has grown larger, with a more intimidating look. New Infernal construction teases an upcoming style update for the faction that you'll see more of in the near future.
That's cool.
Collection arrays now visibly mined, more effectively with proper prism support, of course. There are even new attack and movement UI pings, along with updated Luminite and Therium art. With so many new visual updates, War in Stormgate has never looked better. War is even sounding better too.
Thank God, because the audio in this game, like 7 months ago, the music has always been on point. They really dialed in and got the music right. But all the different audio levels and some of the sound effects and stuff, it was not pleasant to hear. So let's see what they did with that. Holy jeez, this 10-minute video. We're 3 minutes in. Okay, I gotta stop yapping.
We're hearing a lot of feedback about sound. We completed a mixing pass on volume levels and concurrency across the entire game.
Thank God.
This means that battles should be more audible with less disparities in the volume levels of different units and abilities. There is still a lot of work to do in this area, but we're making progress. We've also added new sound effects for the Animancer's reworked Dark Prophecy ability.
So Space Aids.
And for the Flayed Dragon.
Wait a second. Because I hated the Space Aids, man.
The Animancer's reworked Dark Prophecy ability. And for the Flayed Dragon. Next up, let's talk about quality of life. I am really pleased to share that a long-requested feature has finally arrived.
Oh my God.
Per command hotkeys, or otherwise known as fully customizable hotkeys.
Guys, I'm still, listen, I'm not going to harp on them. I've already done it enough about just not having customizable hotkeys when you release the game. But like, this is such a important feature to have in any competitive RTS, and one that people want to take serious. Bless this. Yes. This right here alone is going to make me play the game.
Feature allows you to now be able to assign hotkeys based on individual commands instead of just based on grid position.
Thank God.
This is completely independent for each faction and each game mode, so you have a ton of control.
Nice.
Automated control groups are now completely customizable too. You can now decide for yourself which control groups units are automatically assigned to whenever they're trained. For example, you could set frontline troops to number 3, ranged units to number 4, and flyers to number 5 for an easy and reliable way to select them. Or you could assign your transports to their own dedicated group for a better draw per ASCII.
I do that.
You could even assign the deployed and undeployed versions of units to different control groups if that helps you to optimize your play. As part of this, we also reworked how the Select All Army button works. If that sounds scary to you, don't panic. I think you'll really like what we came up with. By default, Army units are now automatically assigned to Control Group 10, which is selectable using spacebar. This is essentially the same behavior as an all-army hotkey, with one clear difference. Now you can steal units out of it. This makes it much easier to send a group out on their own side mission without accidentally selecting them 3 seconds later with that all army key again.
Wow.
We've all been there. The traditional select all army hotkey still exists.
See, this is, I'm sorry I keep pausing. But, you know, when people try and think of ways to make really tough competitive RTS games a little bit more accessible for average players, like, you know, for casuals that just want to play the game, have some fun. They're not trying to be ladder heroes, you know. Instead of dumbing down the game and making a game easier or whatnot, these are the types of things that you do, because it's these types of things that not only trip up like high level players, but it really makes things difficult for, you know, new players that really don't know the nuances of unit control and you know, just making these mistakes. So, you know, kudos to them for that. And I'm going to rewind that and just re-listen to that part one more time.
Later with that all army key again. We've all been there. The traditional select all army hotkey still exists though, and you can rebind that back to spacebar if you absolutely must cling to the old ways. On top of that, we've also added alternate hotkeys. A hotkey to steal and add to control group, a hotkey to remove from control group, a hotkey to cycle the quick macro tabs, and a hotkey to cycle HQs, which is a great way to quickly jump around to all of your bases.
Wow. They did
Previously,
They did it. Holy jeez.
Flying units had the same movement behavior as ground units, which looked and felt especially clunky for flyers as groups of aircraft tried to pathfind around each other midair. Now flyers move with flocking flight behavior.
Look at the difference.
Say that 10 times. Flocking air.
Look at the difference.
Groups of aircraft tried.
Look at this flyer movement before, and just look at the background. Look at the movement. Look at the aesthetic of it, and then look at the after.
To pathfind around each other midair. Now flyers move with flocking.
Not to mention the visuals, the audio as well.
Flight behavior. Say that 10 times fast. This allows them to pass through and to overlap each other while moving around, and it feels much nicer to control. There are a lot of nuances to this system.
Oh, wow.
For example, overlapping flying units will naturally separate over time while moving, and when stationary, they spread out even more rapidly. Also, before attacking, flyers will first spread out to help mitigate extremely clumped up focus firing. Now, when units change directions, they look a lot more natural. Instead of turning with a fixed rotation rate, units' rotation rate will quickly slow as they approach their forward direction, contributing to an overall smoother look for units as they move around the battlefield.
That's nice.
Projectile movement behavior has been improved behind the scenes. Arcing projectiles like the Atlas and Mortardon now have more natural arcs, and their projectiles will reach a higher apex in order to cover longer distances. Unit launching abilities like Heroic Leap, Vulcan Dash, Meteor Slam will look more natural as well. A match start countdown has been added for non-campaign games. Games can additionally be paused in any mode, with multiplayer matches allowing up to 3 pauses per player.
Nice.
AoE abilities now highlight affected friendly units in green and enemy units in red as a targeting preview before being cast. More detailed error messages have also been added to provide clearer feedback so you know when abilities can or cannot work and what the reason is for that. The post-game screen for Versus games has also been completely redesigned. It now displays detailed stats, graphs, and even kudos that highlight key achievements from your match. Additionally, Twitch streams can now be featured in-game in the Stormgate client. Keep your eyes peeled for an upcoming tournament on March 1st and 2nd, benefiting the Children's Hospital of Orange County. You can also support Chalk with this huggable Battlefield Buddy. Proceeds from this in-game pet will be donated to Children's Hospital of Orange County to advance pediatric care and cutting-edge research. While watching replays, you can now swap vision between players to see what they were seeing as they played the game. This is not yet available as an observer, but that feature will be added soon in an upcoming update. Our team has really poured their hearts and their effort into this update to make it as special for you as possible.
I believe
and
that.
I hope you really enjoy it.
Is that it?
Looking ahead, our team is full speed ahead on both a campaign revamp and our factions effort. The campaign revamp is a sweeping overhaul of our campaign, including new missions and updated layouts. We've rewritten scripts, we're re-recording dialogue, and we're basically putting a bunch of little improvements in as well to make the campaign experience as fun and as exciting for you to experience as possible. For factions, we're adding new units to each faction, we're changing up some of the core systems that underpin each of them, we're changing the tech trees, and we're basically adding a bunch of changes to double down on what's most fun about each faction, and that would help accentuate their unique identity on the battlefield. So I just want to say thank you very much. We couldn't do what we're doing without you. We still have a long road ahead with many more improvements to make and a lot more content to share with you. And your support, feedback, encouragement along the way has meant everything to us. You are directly helping to shape the game and make it better when you share your thoughts with us. So I ask you to please use 0.3 as your opportunity to invite friends into the game, to micro or macro your hearts out on the battlefield, and to really continue sharing that feedback with us so that together we can make Stormgate as great as possible. I'll see you on the battlefield.
Wow. Okay, so what do I think? First off, I think everybody watching this video can agree that between 6 months ago and right now, it's like a totally different, it's not a different game, but it's a completely different vibe. They stepped it up in several major departments. We're talking visually and audio, hotkeys. I can't speak on the balance because I haven't played this game in a while. I am going to start playing it again. And I'm happy I showcased this because, as I said before, people have been giving Stormgate a lot of shit, and rightfully so for a lot of the stuff. I think they bit off more than they could chew early on. I think if they had released early access like this, oh my God. I mean, it would have been... I mean, it just... But I also understand they got investors. They gotta have proof of concept out. They got to get feedback. Maybe they jumped the gun a little bit too early, but you know what? We're not going to gripe about the past. All we can do is, if we want the game to succeed, is to celebrate the leaps that this game has clearly had over this last half a year. Tim did say that there's still a lot of work to go, and I don't doubt that. The last time I played the game, I'm not going to lie, like I was very frustrated with the balance and the dog versus dog meta and just the it just felt off. So I won't really know until I played it again. In fact, I'm probably going to play some games here shortly. But I did want to just make this video because I heard that this is a big patch, and I was on the Reddit, and it seemed to be almost all positive. So I said, you know what? Let me boot this up, put it on Lag TV. You know, maybe there'll be several thousand people that'll watch this and give the game another chance. Or maybe you just have been on the sidelines waiting for a version of the game that looks good. If that's the case, you know, now's the time. It's free to play. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And be honest, after watching that, I can see the promise. The question is, and we don't need to go into detail about it, but like, can they get to the finish line? Do they have enough money to get there? Will they have enough support to get there? Did they already blow their chance, you know, when they first released early access? I don't know the answer to all those things. I've read the AMAs. They seem to, you know, have funding, get more additional funding coming. They seem to have the money to make it all the way to release. If that's the case, and these are the leaps that they're making every 6 months or so, I mean, this could be something, I was going to say something special. It could, but this could be something viable that we play past our, past StarCraft's life cycle. And I don't think StarCraft's ever going to go anywhere. And there hasn't been many people that have been playing this game. I think like on average, there may have been 50 to 70 people playing at all times. It's not a lot of people. But I'm sure that's going to tick up now, and hopefully they can hold those players and kind of snowball a little bit. Not expecting big things from the game until we get closer to an official launch, but at least we can start to see the vision. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on too long. Again, let me know what you guys think. A big shout out to the Frost Giant studio and all the hard work that they've been doing. I know they've been put through the ringer. Yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff. I saw the stuff about the Steam reviews and all this other nonsense. I know all about it. Everybody watching, but I'm gonna give them some grace and cheer them on. I want them to succeed. I don't get anything from rooting for their downfall. And if they can continue to make these types of improvements, then I'll start to feel pretty damn good about the game. So anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna go and boot up a game and give her I might even stream it and give her a good old college try. So again, go check them out. It's available on Steam right now for free. Stormgate early access. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, and we'll see you for some more StarCraft tomorrow. All right, guys. Peace out.